That's here. Unplug that. Plug it into that. Okay.
ബാത്റൂമിലെ ഗാർബേജ് എല്ലാം വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഇതിന്റെ കൂടെ കൊണ്ടിട്ടോ ഞാൻ ഇവിടുത്തെ ഗാർബേജ് എടുത്ത് കളയാൻ പോവാ.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me, everyone?
Hi, Gaurav. Yes.
Yeah,
Hi,
we can hear
Len.
you.
Hi, Len. I'm extremely sorry, everybody. I'm slightly late today, so sorry for keep you waiting here.
No problem, Gaurav.
Yeah. Since we are already late, so let's quickly start. We will first continue our Redux toolkit. Then we will move to Thunk. Thunk is required for handling API request and responses. Actually, we need to wait for some time. There is the asynchronous request going to the API. Then we need to handle in slightly different way. We'll see that. But first, let's continue with toolkit part. So did you try creating simple form and sending dispatch to the store from React component? Were you successful?
I tried, but I couldn't get it to work. I had some trouble with it.
Oh, okay. You mean, did you try writing console log and saw if your dispatch is going to the store? Or were you able to find what is the problem that you are getting?
I tried a couple stuff. The console log, no, I didn't try that. I think it's just I try to follow based on like the other reducers that I just try to create a new function inside reducer called add title and do it that way.
Mhm.
I couldn't figure out how to like combine the form and the button together.
Oh, okay. All right then. Okay, then let me provide you the basic UI. Then we'll start from there. Give me 1 minute. Let me open VS Code and then we'll start. Okay, so let me share my screen here. All right, guys. So let me first provide you the basic UI that we will work. Okay, let me just open one window here. Maybe the guest window. If we need, we will take this here. Let me send it somewhere on the right. So what I mean by basic UI is, I think I have already created simple UI for our application. So we need to create a form right here. And we need to user will type something, and we need to display the result or some text that is typed by user. Let's do it more properly. What we will do is we'll create some component here then. So, and finally we'll render that component in app.jsx. Means let's go here in src, and I'm going to create components folder. In this components folder, we are going to accept, or what do you call, we are going to send dispatch or accept the state from the store. Okay, here we are going to create few components. One is to add form and one is to display form, right? So let's create component called you can say add posts.jsx. Another one is you can say you can say display posts.jsx. All right, so let me start the live server as well. Okay, go to Redux toolkit. We are using pnpm, network pnpm dev. Start the live server. Okay, so this is the URL. Okay, we were doing this thing yesterday, so we will do it more properly. We need this field and the submit field, right? We'll put this one in add post. Okay, I have the initial UI. Let me just provide you. Let me see, where is this somewhere? Okay, initial UI means the simple form. So we need to add post, right? Let me see. Yeah, I can just quickly copy it. I think you understand. This is a simple React component, right? Heading and a form. It's having a label. It's having a label to type input field to type author name. No, input field to type post title actually, and select field to select the author. We have authors means users, you can say, and a text area field to type some long text, or you can say description, and finally a button to save post. You can quickly see how this look like. Let me delete everything from here now. We'll start it from scratch once again. So RAFCE is React Arrow Function Component Export. We don't need this on the top. And here, I will simply render that. What is the name? Actually, add post. Okay. Add post here. And this is a simple field having post title. Author name will select from here, content, save post. Doesn't look like good. Let me delete this CSS app.css. We don't need it because we haven't imported it. I'll replace some CSS here, a really simple CSS inside index.css. All right, let me see.
Gaurav, can you paste the add
So I'm
post
just
code
getting
in the
it to
chat?
save some time here. So index.css. So this is the very simple basic CSS that we will use. So yeah, we have some field here like section, so input. So we are using this simple CSS. Okay, here we go. It's a very simple plain
Gaurav, I have a question.
fields having the input field for typing post title, author, content, and once we click here, it should show the post detail. All right, this one for add post component. Let me just quickly commit this so that you can also get it and have it on your code. So it's cmp add post component, right? Add post. This is a simple single post. You can say add post only, add post component. It. Okay, so you can, if you want, you can just change the name as well. So we'll add post from here. Okay, plural, singular, and this one as well. Okay, we will add a single post from here at a time. Okay, now let's go to, this is add post. Okay, so let's go and have some code here to display the post. Okay, now we have added the post. We are gonna display it. All right, so let me see if I can get. So we'll add some more component to display post because we want to display it, but we want to display the author name as well who posted it. We want to add some timestamp like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, something like that. And we want to add some reactions as well. Okay, I think it will be better if I show you what it looks like. Let me see if I can deploy it somewhere in Vercel. Okay, I already have it. I think I can quickly deploy it here. So yeah, I will, this one, I'll get it here. So I can quickly deploy it. This is RTK-4. Okay, it is deployed, I think, really fast, but oh, I think it is not working. I need to select the folder. That's why it is not deploying. All right. Can I do it here? Yeah, I can do it here. So this is inside Redux Toolkit. I want to deploy this folder actually. Okay, let me see if I can do it one more time. So it has added some. Let me add RTK take you. So RTK means React Toolkit, Redux Toolkit actually. Okay, it is actually doing a deployment queued. Let me see if others are pending here somewhere. RTK4, I don't want this. I'll remove it from there. This one is failed actually. Let me see where can I delete it. the setting. No, maybe somewhere here should have the option to delete this project. I don't know, not sure where is this. Visit will simply visit it. This will simply open it. Deployment. Okay, it is. I think other one is also deploying. Let me see. This is queued actually. Not sure why is it queued, and it should be deployed. This one is also deploying each and every time, I think, right? We are deploying that card each and every time here. Is it working? I think the API is down, that's why it is in loading state all the time. Maybe you can inspect here, but doesn't matter to us. It is coming from the API. Yeah, it is working. This one is our previous app, but okay, it seems like, yeah, let me just quickly see if I can do something here. Otherwise I'll just ignore it. Okay, okay, I have some options here. Maybe I can delete it from here as well. Remove it. Remove the domain from the project. No, this is just a domain. General. Yeah, I have delete project here. I think I can delete it from here. I need to type this text here in order to delete. Oh, it doesn't matter. Into the project name. This one with the project name. Oh, what happened here? Delete. Oh, this needs to be different thing down there. This is actually type delete my project below. So instead of typing, let me just copy it and delete it. This actually work now. Yeah, RTK take you. Yeah, it is working. So yeah, we want to build this application actually. This one, really simple one. So we will add some post title. Let's say test title. And author will select it from here. It is coming from user slice. This is coming from post slice. This thing will communicate with post slice. This is actually regarding with the user slice. So this is test content. And when I click on save post, it will be here. Okay, and see, this is the title coming from above, content as well. And this is the author that we selected, and this is the time. So one thing is you can click here as well to increase the reactions. So see, this kind of features are seen in social media posts or somewhere, some blogs where you can click and increase the reaction. You can click once only from one user at a time, but we can do it however we want. We will just add this feature just to see how to actually communicate with different components in React using Redux toolkit. Okay, this is the final application
Garak,
that
I
we
have a
will
question.
build here. It's a really simple one.
Hello.
All right. So do you want to ask me something?
Can you hear me? Is the mic working?
Okay, then we have created this component already. This is the display post component, and we
can hear you, but
oh no,
Gaurav
this is
cannot
the
hear,
add
I
post
think.
component, and this is the display post component actually. So let's
Okay.
create this component, display post component. So in display post, we will display multiple posts. But you saw there, I just deleted it. Let me get back. You saw here, we have different things involved here. This is the simple text. They are coming from our input fields, but here we have these reactions as well. It means need to create some more components in the components folder. So we need to create to display author, to handle author, maybe author component, to handle this reaction, maybe reaction component, to handle this time period as well, maybe time component, and then we will finally combine it into the display post component. It means we will create another subfolder in here for displaying the components. So display components, these are related to display things. Finally, everything will be we will accept everything from here into the display post component. So everything will be used inside display post. Finally, let's go here and create a component called so post author .jsx regarding both author. Another one is reaction as well, post reaction you can say, or reaction. There are a lot of buttons.jsx. Another one is time ago .jsx. So these will be the really simple components that we will be creating. Okay, let me see if I can just get initial code for this component. So for post author, we want to create a simple component like this. Okay, currently we have static user here. Later we will select this user from Redux store using use selector hook. But currently we have static user, and we are doing what? We are just finding this user. So here we will accept user ID. Right, this user ID is the ID selected by the user, and we will search this user ID against the user available in our Redux store, and we will find this user here and store it in author variable. You know how to use find method, right? Find method will accept your callback function. Okay, and then we'll give you the respective user who is actually in the list. So this is the finally found user. So we will display that user here. So this is the simple post author component to display the user. All right, so once again, we will add some code here in time ago. Oh, not here, sorry, not in time ago. I need to paste it in post author actually. So we will add some code in time ago as well. So we need to actually calculate how many minutes ago, something like that. Maybe we can use some package for that. We have a lot of in npm.js. You can go like, there is a popular one called day.js. You can try it. We are using currently it in our project as well. So this is really popular. Maybe it will work. I think other package will be there. Just search for the available package. Instead of searching it here, you can search in Google the package related to date and time. Maybe one of the other one is other. Yeah, this one, date FNS. This is also more popular. So yeah, date FNS. See, this is too popular. So active download is really high. And what we can do is we can accept something from date FNS, right? And we can do something. For example, we have multiple dates here. Maybe we can sort this date according to in descending or ascending order. Okay, let's then install this package. Let's try it. It's like a load-as. You know load-as? Have you heard about load-as? We didn't use it, I think. Load-as is one of the most popular packages in JavaScript community. So sometimes you need to use it as well. So load-as is having all the utility functions already written. For example, let's say what are the functions available in load-as? Let's go to documentation. For example, let's say you want to let's go to join. You want to actually join this this array with this string. So what we will do, we will just use this join method already written in load-as. So yeah, there are a lot of methods written here. For example, if you want to remove what happens here actually, yeah, remove array and remove all the elements which are actually divisible by 2. So it will just remove it and you will get the remaining elements. So it's like JavaScript utility functions which are already written. You don't have to write it, most of them, which are popular. So yeah, some of the project you will be working may have maybe using this library called load_as. So this is really popular one. So it is mentioned here. You can try it sometimes. Try install and use some utility from there. But let's install this package called datefns here. So we want to go to Redux. I think we are opening here. This is the server, Redux toolkit, Redux toolkit, and we will install that package called fns. So how can we install package with pnpm? Do you know?
PNPM.
We don't have a yarn now, right? It's really simple. Just write pnpm and I and the name of the package, that is date fns. Right? It will just install this package. Okay, let me just quickly copy a simple time component here, time ago component. See, this component is accepting something called parse ISO and format distance now from date fns. Okay, and it is just actually giving you time ago from here, and we'll just display that time ago. So yeah, we are parsing this time, the current time, and then we are actually um, formatting by passing. So after calculating the time, we are comparing it to the current time, and then we will get this time as well. We will not calculate it. We will get this time when user write the post, we'll get that exact time from timestamp here. So we will pass this time in this format distance to now to calculate the difference uh, to the current from the time when this post is created. We'll just calculate how many minutes ago. It is a really simple one. So we have two components already made, and final one is this reaction. So this is also simple. Let me just copy this code, and here we have available reactions like thumb up, wow, and you can see these are the available reactions. Actually, these are the reactions that we have. And what we will do is we will simply currently here you can see something called object.entries. This is creating an array and mapping this array. So we will simply display the reaction emoji, and the reaction, how many reactions are there. This is simply the reaction counter. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 components here, and we will actually merge all of this component into display post component finally. Okay, let's go to display post component. I'll also get some of the data quickly here. Okay, we are saving a lot of time here. So yeah, finally you can see display post is actually statically typing this post here currently because we don't have store here. We are not actually communicating with Redux store. You can do it anywhere without store. That's why we are actually having static data here. And see, one function called sub is coming from datefns. We'll see what this is doing down there. But these three are the components that we created recently in that display components folder, right? And we are simply displaying the post title, post content, and here is the author information, here is the time ago information, and here is the reaction. Okay, and simply we are displaying it after post here in the JSX version. So let me quickly see. Let's see. Let's make this display post. display post. So let's go to app.jsx and display this post here. And oh, we have some issue there. And it says it is not available. I think these are the different name. Let's go to our display post component. We are actually importing these three component. Let's try to import it once again. The first one is the post author. It is imported from display components now because it is not there in another folder. So time ago, it is in that display ago component inside display components folder. Final reaction button. Okay, these are properly imported now. If I save it, it should work. Yeah, these are essentially two components, main two components. So yeah, let me quickly commit first and then we'll discuss. It's CMP additional components added that we require. All right. So can you tell me, guys, how many components can you see on this application? On the right, how many components are we using on this from the view, or you can just say from the components that are created here, how many components that I've created. So how many components are there for this add post? How many components are we creating?
Looks like one.
I think I cannot hear you. Let me see if my microphone is working or not. I think, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My outgoing is connected, but Peter is saying something, but I cannot hear him. Oh, I think it is working now. Yeah, Peter, can you, sorry for that. Can you repeat again?
I was saying for the top part, it looks like one component just for the posts. No.
Let me just give me a moment, guys. About 1 minute. Let me fix this. My microphone, incoming microphone, is not working actually. It should work now. I have disconnected and reconnected. Yeah, Pius, can you hear me? Is it fine?
Yes,
I think you can
yes,
hear me
Gaurav.
already. Oh,
Yep,
okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it is fine. Yeah, sorry for that, everyone. Yeah, Peter, you were saying something. I couldn't actually hear you.
I was saying, I think just for the top part up to that save post button, it just looks like one component to me.
Right, yeah. This is a single component. This is actually add post component, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And down here?
Well, there's the reaction, what do they call the buttons component, and then the post component. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think those two is what I can see.
Okay. Once again, down here, this is also a single component, but it is having its child component, right? 3 child component, you can say. But this is a single parent component and it is not having child component. This is also a single parent component called display posts, right?
Yeah.
This is the component coming here. And display post is having 3 child component. One is handling this author. Another one is handling this timestamp, time how many minutes ago. Another one is handling this reaction buttons. So yeah. Otherwise, you can write everything here as well in this display post. it will unnecessarily create or make your code more than, let's say, 60 line of code. So already we have 60 line of code. So we don't want to actually extend it. That's why in order to separate the concern, we have created these components, these 3 child components. Okay, you can, everybody, you can just pull if you are already working on the repository, or clone, or you can just copy if you are doing separately as well. But just have this, how many? I think altogether we added 3 and 2 here, 5 components. Yeah, just have these components on your project as well. Then we will now go to this post author and add post, and we will actually dispatch the title, author name, content from here to our store called to our slice called post slice. Here we will send our information from add post component, user information, to our slice. Finally, it will be stored in the store, Redux store. All right. So can you do that? If there is any issue, let me just know. I'll just wait for a few moments here so that you can all, get all of the components that I have added. Okay, we are, yeah, it is better to write everything in this small letter, like post slide. It is better to follow the same convention everywhere. Okay, let's go to user slice.js, post slice.js, and here is the store. Okay, so yeah. Now we will go to post slice actually and do something here. Okay, if you're having any issue getting this code in your local code base, then just let me know so that I can assist you. Okay, let me continue from here. Post slice. So in post slice, we will receive the dispatch, right? We can select the post from here as well. We will actually do it using use selector hook easily, but we will get dispatch and need to handle those dispatch here at this location, right? We need to handle it. First, let me go to the add post and try to send this to the post slice. Then I'll come here and update this post slice. Okay, so can we do? We can actually, so can you tell me how can I actually store this title, author, content information in some variable here in this component, add post component, because it is the part of add post component, right? For example, let's say I'm typing here like learning React. So this is the post title. How can I save it in some variable here in this component, add post component? Any idea? So let's assume that you have some input field, right? And you want to actually store it in some variable in your component. This is the common case in React. Most of the time you need to do that. Can you guess? Just a guess. It doesn't matter whether it is correct or not. Uh, is there any way to store it in some variable in our React component? We are typing it on the browser and we want to, yeah.
I was just gonna ask, can you use use it use state where you had a variable and a set variable name?
That's correct. Absolutely. Yeah. We need to use state because this is constantly changing as well. For example, user may remove and write something called redux here, and the state should change as well. So we need to make a state because components should also re-render because we will later post it here. So what we need to do whenever you are asking yourself, you want to actually store something in your variable inside something means you most of the time something that is changing or that will have effect on your browser. Then what you will do is you will create a state. This is really simple. So you create state using use state hook, and we want to get this and store here. Let's just initialize the state now. Title and set title. This is just regarding title. But how can I get this value in this title variable?
On change set title.
Yeah, on change. So on change should be actually attached to this input because this input is corresponding to this post title. You can see here, post title. So we need to write on change here. So on change, what you need to do when you are changing, you need to set the title, right? Set title. So how can I get the value here? This value, whatever I am writing, I need to pass it inside set title, right?
Event to target the value.
Yeah, you can simply write event. The event will come from here, right? Event, and you need to write target dot value. Okay, now you can just check whether you are getting it or not. You can just simply console log the title, here, and go to your console. Let me type something. See, initially it is undefined. We haven't given any initial value. Let's say empty value initially. Initially we have empty value. So if I write something here, is and every time it is coming into this state here, see? So now I can get all of the field, right? For example, author as well. Let me create another use state hook. I'm not able to copy it. Yeah, I can do it now. So let's say user. We need to select user and set user. So actually user means we will uh, have user ID as well. We just want to select the user ID because if we have ID, then we will know which user is that. Because if you select username, different user may have same name. At that time, it will be difficult later to find that exact user. That's why we will use user ID, set user ID. So where do I need to use this set user ID? On this field, right? On select field, right? Here we are selecting from here. So later we will add value as well. So what we need to do is on change, once again on change, and we need to actually use set user ID, and in there we will pass the user ID actually. So not user ID, but we will pass the ID from here, right? So once again we need to actually accept it. once again, will have that user ID coming from e dot target and dot value. So value means this will be the user ID, all of the user ID. Later we will display user ID here. For example, you will have like let's say a field called user ID to display all the user ID here. And let's say you will have users, but you will display their name there. They will also have ID. For example, currently if I have 1 2 3, let's say this is the same name, I need to change it. So you can say user options. And what we will do is write this user options here, user options. Okay, and then we will display those user options here. Right, currently we are not attaching a value here, so this value should be attached to each and every field, because input should also have value. So this input, because whenever we are typing there, we want to actually save it in this value. So value means this title, and this is the field, this is the option field, and we will have the value as well. Value means, let's say, user ID. Okay, whenever you select that user ID, it should be available here, but currently we are not selecting it from the available users, but we will actually do this. Let me just quickly comment this one for now. We will activate it once we selected the available user from, once we accepted available users from our user slice hook using selector hook. But for now, we just want to create on change function for all of this. Okay, on change function for this one. So on change for this one, on change for this one. Now let's go and create on change for this content as well. Very simple, right? You can just simply copy this one. So now we need to create another state here. See, we are creating 3 states. Otherwise, we can create a single state with having object of 3 properties as well. That is also fine. But when you are creating object, that will become slightly difficult to copy the previous property as well. So sometimes you can create individual state as well. So this is actually the content, right? You can say content, and let's say set content. And we want to update this content using set content function. Okay, now we have 3 on change hook actually, sorry, on change event actually attached to 3 input fields here. Finally, let's handle this save button as well. Save post button. What do we need to do here? Any idea? What can we do? What will happen if I click on this button? I guess what should happen actually if I'm going to click on that button?
Dispatch.
Yeah, it should dispatch. It should dispatch all this thing, right? Title, author, content, right? It should send this as a payload. It means we need to have another function here. This is not unchange function. This is a submit function, you can say. So click on click. Let's say on click. And now we will create one function above, and finally we will just write the name here. So you can say, let's say, or you can say a submit handler, something like that, or save post. Instead of save post, you can write submit post as well. Submit handler. Let's create this submit handler somewhere above, right here. Submit handler is a simple function where which when executing should actually first accept all of the fields here like title, author, and content. And then finally, it should actually send the dispatch. So we need to only accept if they are available, right? You can check here if there is title, if there is some value in title, as well as some content. Okay, if we have title and some content, so we need to dispatch it, or you can check for user ID as well. If there is title, content, and user ID, so double and here actually user ID, then only you will dispatch from here. And after dispatching it, you will actually set the title. You will reset the title using set title function. You should reset it, right? You should reset the title to empty. You should reset it and everything. User ID as well, empty, and set content as well, empty. So after sending the dispatch, we are resetting it once again because dispatch is already sent. Payload is already sent. Now we can reset it. We can clean up everything. Okay, so this is what we want, but we don't have users here. So users are actually inside this. Users are coming from this user slice actually. See, there is empty user currently. Let me see if I can get some dummy users for now. It means the initial value of the user, you can say. Let me just get those users. So yesterday we had some users there, but we removed it from there, right? So these are the initial users, ID and name actually. So what we are going to do here is we want to actually access this. This is the user slice, right? We want to simply access this state from our add post component. Okay, do you think you can do that? Can you? So here you want to do one thing. What you want to do is first accept this user here into this component, add post component. Okay, and then you need to actually just get the name of the user, because here in user slice we have ID and name. You need to only get name here. Okay, and then you can simply finally what you will do is you'll write like this statement, write option value, let's say 1. If you have 1 there, then it should actually display 1. Let's display some UI as well. So display 1 here. So instead of 1, you need to display this username actually. Okay, here, username. Then when you click here, you need to see that username. But you shouldn't actually write it here yourself, but you need to do that in user option here in this variable. So essentially, you need to return the available options. For example, let's say what you can do is here, right here, you can just return this field, right? You can just have this field here, and this value is 1, let's say. Okay, and then you can just now write user option here, user option. So you can just activate it. And it needs to be inside JavaScript, right? User option. So it should be the same. It should give you the same result, 1. So yeah, it means when you have multiple values, then you need to actually, you can actually put it in an array, right? For example, let's say we put this in an array, and this is the first element of that array. This is the first element of that array. If you directly write it here, this is the first element, this is the second element. Let's see what will happen. See, it is saying that each child should have unique key. Maybe we need to do that using that map method, but see here, It means if you have 3 elements here, then you need to actually have their name here. So it's an every username here. Then those users should be visible there, right? Currently I'm doing myself manually, but it should be done by some logic actually. And we will see this user here. You need to write this logic here to actually get this 3 option field, and in there the values should be user ID. Okay, the value should be, what should be the value should be the user ID. 0, 1 and 2 are their user ID. You need to have value 0 here, to have value 1 here, and you need to have value 2 here. Okay, but you are displaying the name, but they are having the value 0, 1 and 2. That is the user ID. All right, and finally you can display them. So yeah, you need to do this logic. You need to write this logic, and it will work because we have already written rendered user option here. Okay, so do you think you can do this? Happen. Oh, I removed it. Do you think you can just write simple logic here to get this 3 option field? Or it depends upon the username. If there are 10 users, then it should have 10 option field. If there are 100 users, it should have 100 option field. It should scale. Okay, let me just commit at this point. PMP add post component. This is not related to Redux till now. This is related to React. We are just practicing something here. Okay, can you just help me here? Otherwise, to save some time, how can I achieve this kind of result? What should I do? First of all, we need to have user here, right? We need to get this user on our add post. We don't know how many users are there. We are just doing ourselves copying and pasting here ourselves, but we will not do this. We will remove it. Okay. But we need to first know how many users are there. Can you tell me how can I get all the users from user slice here in this component, add post component? No idea? We have these users already here. Users are already in Redux store. This initial value will also go in Redux store. How can we get store value in our component?
We import store.
We directly import store.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's accessible from the provider, right?
Yeah, but how will we do that? Will we write import store from store directly?
So I'm not sure.
Or are there some functions?
Oh,
Is there some hook?
Use reducer, was it?
Yeah, use selector actually, right?
Yeah,
Use selector. There is a hook called use selector just to do this thing, do this particular job, to get this state from store. Okay, we will never import store in our React component because store will change. So to make it dynamic, use selector hook will actually access when store is actually changing as well. So at this time, we will need to use selector hook all the time when we are actually accepting some state from store. Okay, so just assist me here. Use selector hook. Where is it coming from? Use selector hook.
User slice.
Is this the hook that we created ourselves, or is it coming from some package
Oh, it's coming
that we
from
installed?
Redux toolkit.
Yeah, it's coming from React Redux, right? Actually, Redux toolkit. React Redux. I think we forgot what we did yesterday. Let's go to Redux Toolkit once again. Redux Toolkit internally uses this package called React Redux. That's why we installed it yesterday. So if you go to Redux Toolkit here, they have a documentation all the way down. When you scroll, they are actually providing you how to use it in this tutorial overview. Actually, let's go here, and I think maybe in the quick start, right? And there you will see how to actually use it in your React component. So this is the React component called counter.js. See, use selector is coming from React Redux package. So Redux Toolkit also uses another package. We are essentially dealing with two different packages here. One is the React Redux, another one is the Redux Toolkit package at the rate React.js Toolkit package, right? So see what are coming from React Redux? These two things, most importantly, use dispatch and use selector hooks are coming from React Redux, right? And what are the other things coming from Redux Toolkit? What are the specific thing? Create slice, most important, right? Create slice, configure store are coming from Redux Toolkit, but use selector and use dispatch are coming from React Redux. We need to first make this sure. So now we have used selector hook. How can I now get user here? With the help of use selector hook. I want to get all the users here using use selector hook. Any idea?
You can call the use selector a hook, and inside the parameter we'll just have an arrow function of state returning state, and then we'll just equate it to some constant on the left hand side.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. So we'll essentially do this. So where do we need to use that hook? Can I use it on line number 3?
It should be inside the component, but outside of the inside the JavaScript section of the component.
Yeah, it should be inside React component. It shouldn't be outside. So we cannot use it here on line number 3. That is against the rule of hook. The rule of hook says that you need to use it inside React component before writing your JSX somewhere here. Okay, so it means let's use it here then. Let's actually use selector hook here. And as you mentioned, inside this use selector hook as a parameter, we need to pass an arrow function, and it should return us state. So, and we will actually save it in users. So tell me, how can I get users? What should I pass here in this arrow function?
Any name.
What will we get here
A
when we
state.
write any name? Yeah.
If we type anything, we can write any name there, and it will return us the state. And out of those state, I guess we just want users, so we'll do state.users.
Okay. It means this is any name. Like for example, if I write state here, is this variable called state holding all the values in the store? All of the values are coming here in this state.
Yes.
I mean, all of the values from all the slices.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you can write state or store then, because this is getting all the store here. So out of this available store value, every store value, we need to only get the users, right? Users, because this is the reducer, which is we set it up here in this store actually, right? We just want to get users. Okay. So yeah, do you think we received successfully users here? Can I just console log and see? Console log and see if users are here or not. Need to go here and refresh it. I'm seeing from line number 7, the empty array. empty array. Maybe let's go to use slice. Actually, this is user slice. Let me just quickly rename it. User slice. So from the user slice, we want to get, actually this is going into the store. So I need to actually change this import as well, because the name are changed now. There is no, see, in your JavaScript application, there is no error, even if we have error there in name. So this name is changed, but here it is using the old name, so it is not giving us any error. So this is the disadvantage of using only JavaScript without TypeScript. So, and without ESLint as well. If you just have ESLint, then it will also show you some error there. So we need to type user slice. And this is a post slice. Okay, now we have users there, see? On our, this is coming from add post line number 7 here. We successfully received the user. So let's, instead of writing this all the time.
What did you just fix?
Yeah, you need to go to store. On the import, we are importing the old file. We just changed the name. It hasn't changed here. So I just write, instead of that camel case user slice, I just write the current name, because currently we have this name, right? User slice, post slice here. Need to just rename it actually.
Okay.
Okay, let me just send this code to you because it is working now. It is not working on the post slice something. That something is related to the option that we have there. Actually, not post slice, display post section, add post section actually. Here, we will not actually have this user option now. So it shouldn't give you that unique, that warning now. Okay, let me send you EMP and users paste. You can see, or we just imported user from our store. Okay, our next work is to actually, okay, let me just refactor it. We need to always write this line, right? We are always writing it most of the time. So select user from store.user. So instead of doing this, instead of just accepting this store, writing this store user, it will be better if we just export this name from here. What I mean is, let's say, let's create a variable here called select all users, or no, just, yeah, select all users. Yeah, select all users. This will actually select all the user. So here we have like state, so, and we have this initial state. We can actually accept anything here. We can write anything. We'll just replace that arrow function here. State dot users will actually select all the users. This is, I can just write simply here as well. I don't need to write this extra line as well. So these are actions. In user, we don't want action as well. So let me just remove it for now. We just wrote this yesterday just to practice on things. I just want to make this simpler. So export it from here now. So export select all users. So what I can do now here is, instead of actually writing this here, I can just import that select all users from this user slice, and it should also work. See, this is much cleaner here. So we just need to select all users and use selector hook, and select all user is having this arrow function. So refactoring code in this way will make your code more scalable or more readable as well. See, what is this? Select all user. So where is the logic of select all user? You can simply click here and go to that logic. This is here. We are abstracting directly on add post, but it is inside user slice. All right. Is this fine, everyone? So now, do you think you can write a logic to display the username here? Here? Can you just write this logic here? Because we have all the users here. Users is containing the username as well. Username means, I think, full name, right? Here you can see the name here, full name here. Can you display full name in this selection field? Do you think you can do that? Or can you guys assist me? How can I do this? How will I achieve it? We need to essentially create an array of currently three elements. The three elements will be the JSX element, three option element, you can say. How can I create an array having three option element from three users? Three users, three options, right? Four users, four options. But what do we need to do? Number of users is equals to number of options.
Can you map it?
Yeah, we need to simply map users to options. Right? This is the method actually built for it, JavaScript map method. So we need to map users and map it to options. Okay, each and every user will come here and we will return option. This is actually JSX. We can write JSX and JavaScript together in React, right? Actually, HTML and JavaScript together in React. So here we will write key, because if we don't write key, it will complain you. Whenever you are mapping some JSX element, you need to have key there. And key should be like unique key all the time. You can have unique key from ID. User.id will be unique all the time. And we need to have value as well. So value should also be user ID. So user.id, because options should have the value of user ID. Now, what do we need to display here? The username, right? So user.name. Now this is more dynamic, right? Flexible JavaScript variable, which is returning an array. That array will contain options that is equivalent to number of users that we have. And finally, we will render it here. So do you think it should work or shouldn't work? Do you understand what we did here? Ready? So until now, you need to understand this logic. So until now, if you are not understanding the syntax, then it seems like you need to invest little of your time practicing JavaScript syntax once again. Because this is a JavaScript map method that is mapping an array, users then array. You can see on the screen on the right on the console here. And we are mapping that users array. And after mapping it, we will return option. Map means, for example, if you have two elements, then your output will also contain two elements. So map means you will return another array having exactly same number of elements, but element value may be anything, right? So yeah, it should work actually. Let's see. See here, we are getting all the users. Now if I go here and add another user having user ID 3, let's say, yeah, let's say some random name like David, and it should actually update here. See? And later we will actually get this data from our API. And our API will actually get this data automatically. And once we write this logic here in the slice, right? Obviously, and then we'll actually display those user here. We'll see those user here. Okay. Any question? Please.
What sort of array is the user options array? It's an array of it's in JavaScript array, but it has the uh HTML tags as the elements.
Yeah, that is possible. For example, if you have array ARR, you can store simple JavaScript number, or for example string, or you can also store JSX here. We didn't do this previously, right? JSX is nothing but here in our case it is like element in term of JavaScript. And when you see what is this, when you just try to actually visualize sometime, const my JSX equals, let me paste here and console log my JSX. My JSX is nothing but object. And can you have object inside array or not? Can you write object inside array?
Yes.
Yeah, we are essentially writing object here. So this is the JSX valid syntax. Yeah.
So Gorak, let's say if this was not the React project, it was just like a vanilla JavaScript project, would we still have been able to do it?
No, no. In vanilla JavaScript project, we cannot do it. In vanilla JavaScript, we cannot write HTML syntax directly in JavaScript. And we cannot do this then.
Okay, Gorak,
If we need to access, yeah. Yeah, please go ahead.
And in line number 30, if we were to console log user options, would it give us any valuable information?
Yeah, it should give array, actually, array of JSX object, right? These are JSX element. It should give array of object. Let's see. See here, we have array of 1, 2, 3, 4 object. And if you expand it, the first object is having this JSX. See, previously we saw JSX looks something like this. This is the JSX element. It is having key 0, right? And it is having props. These are the props. And this is the key prop here. Key is already available here. The more important that we want is actually the value prop, which is 0. And this is having the children. This is children, right? So children is actually the name. So children is another prop, which is written here. And this is the prop that we are writing. That is the value prop having 0. And this is essentially not a prop. It is by default required by React. A special prop, you can say. Key prop. That's why it is here. We'll not use that key prop ourselves. So each and every JSX element will have their similar structure. This is actually JSX. JSX element. JSX element is nothing, but it is an object. It is an object having this property. More importantly, you need to worry about this props field. So props field is containing valuable information like value and children. Children means this one and value means this one. Right? So each and every JSX elements are having these fields. Yeah, that's nice question actually. We got to actually know how they look like. Yeah, anything more, guys? So okay then, finally we successfully accessed this username here. So now we want to actually update this value. Okay, let's first finish it and then we'll move into the another section. Maybe take some break and then go there. But let's first complete this add post component. So finally, we have this option we have already linked here, right? So we can now have this value as well, because we have this user ID currently. User ID is changing each and every time. So we will select it here, user ID. And here on change, in this option, we will actually select the value e.target.value. So that value will come from here. And that is coming from the user option value actually, right? So let me save it and see it's working, and click here, and it should actually, when I click there, it should actually update this value, right? This user ID value. So let me console log them. So log user ID. So what do you think initially the user ID? Initially it is empty, right? So what will be the user ID when I select this first user, or this, let's say when I select this second user? What do you think? What will be the user ID?
Mm.
1,
Yeah.
right? Oh yeah, see, this is 1. Why this is 1?
Is that the matching ID on the initial one we created?
Yeah, this ID means this value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we are selecting the second author. That's why we have 1. Instead of removing those confusion, you can just write 1 here and 2 here, so 3 here. Yeah, ID can be anything over here. So now when you select this one, it should be 2. Okay, we are successfully getting user ID here. See, when you select the user, so that user ID is stored in this variable called user ID. Are you able to get title as well? We already did as well, right? Let's see all the way down. Yeah, here we are able to get title. So are you able to get content? See here, we have content as well. We are updating the content as well, but we are not writing value here. We need to dynamically associate, link it. So content. Okay, so seems like everything is fine. Finally, we need to get everything here. So title, content, and user ID. When everything is here, so we will just write console log, let's say successfully received. What did we receive? One is actually title, another one is user ID, another one is content. So when we have this 3 field, we will see in our console log. Once I click on save post here, once I click here, let me see, just write test, click on save post. So save post is a button here. So when I click here, this function should execute. Let's see first if it is executing or not. Console log running. When I click on save post, I need to see that running actually on the console. Yeah, it is working. So it is already running, but it is not going here because we don't have this title. So let me receive test title. So this is the author, and let's have test content here. Now I'll click on save post. Now this should execute because we are receiving all these 3 things, right? Let me click here. See, successfully received test title and the author ID 1 and test content. We successfully received it here. Finally, we will send it through dispatch now. Okay, so let's do it after some break. We will send dispatch and we will send it to one slice called post slice because we are dealing with post here.
I got a question,
Okay.
Gaurav, real quick.
Yeah, sure, please.
So if you go down to the input fields on yeah, I see these like look at line 44 and 45, right? There is where you're assigning user ID to value, but also you're set user ID to target.value. So is target.value referring to the value? Because we initially assigned it without having the assignment of value. What's the difference between those two lines?
Yeah. So this value, it seems like the same name here, but this value and this value are different. Okay. This is the value coming from event object. Inside event object, we have target object. Inside target object, we have this value property actually.
Right.
But this is the value that we will be writing whenever we are creating our input field, select field to actually synchronize with the value that we have here. For example, let's say we have in title, we have hello. Then we want to get that value down here because this is associated with this input field, right? So input field called title. So that title state is for this input field. That's why we are just linking it here. So this value, it means relating it with, synchronizing with it with our state. So this value means the value that you are getting from your browser.
Okay.
Yeah. Eventually, we are actually sending this value from your browser to this title first using set title, and finally we are getting it here inside this value. They are connected, but this and this are not same.
All right, I see. Okay, thank you.
So making add post dynamic. So I'm just writing random commits here. Okay, just understand as what we are doing here. You can write whatever you want if you understand. But yeah, there are also standard convention as well to write commits. So okay, let's quickly take some break and then continue here. Will it work? Yeah, I think all of us are already in break. Yeah, let me meet you after maybe 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, less than 10 minutes. We'll actually connect once again. All right, so are we here, everybody? Can we continue?
Yes.
Okay, guys, so shall we continue now? Are you here, everybody? Okay, so let's go ahead
Yes,
then.
correct.
So we completed only we just stored the value recently in state. We need to send dispatch. So can you tell me how can I do it? Just assist me so that I can actually complete this dispatch part.
Hi, Gaurav. You are
So
not
how
sharing
should I
your
send
screen.
dispatch from here?
Hello, hello, Gaurav. Can you hear us?
I think I cannot hear you. Asis, I think you are speaking. Can anybody hear Asis? Otherwise, that may be a problem on my side. Yeah. Can anybody else hear him? Because I cannot hear him. Pius, are you there? Peter, can you hear Asis? Nirusha, are you here? Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
I think, let me see first if my microphone is working or not. I think my outgoing microphone is working, but not sure about your. Looks like everything is fine. Yeah, can somebody verify whether you can hear or not? Whether you can
Hi,
hear
hi,
Asis or
Gaurav. Can
not?
you hear us?
Guys.
yes, I can hear. We can hear
we
Gaurav.
can hear Ashish.
Oh, okay. Then this might be the problem on my side. Just give me a moment. I think. Okay. Nirsa, can you hear me now?
Yes, Gaurav, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Previously as well, I think my microphone was working, but I am not able to hear you guys. So yeah, sorry about that. Asis, you were mentioning
Oh,
something.
I was just saying, we cannot see your screen. Are you sharing it?
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see it. Yeah. So what I was asking is, we want to send this data from here to our post slice, and we want to accept it here. We will do those things through dispatch, right? So can you assist me? How can somebody assist me? How can I do that? How can I send dispatch from here? First of all, to send dispatch, what do we need to do? What do we need to import? Do we need some function? Have we written some function, or is there some function already available? Is there some hook already available to send dispatch?
Dispatch.
Yeah, there
Use
is a
dispatch.
use dispatch hook. That's correct. Yeah. Where is it coming from? Use dispatch hook.
Is it React Redux?
Yeah, right here. So together with use selector hook, we will actually accept use dispatch hook as well. Okay, so now what do we need to do after getting this use dispatch hook here? Can we directly write use dispatch here in this function, submit handler function? That is against the rule of hook once again. Never use hook inside your function. Always use hook inside React component, right? That's the basic rule of hook, right? There are two locations where you can use hook. One is inside component. Can you guess where is the other location? There is another location where you can use hook as well.
JSX.
No, we cannot use hook inside JSX as well.
Inside another function.
Inside another function, but what kind
Inside
of
another
function will be?
custom hook.
Yeah, custom hook, that's correct. We can use hook inside another custom hook. Custom hook will look like something like use total. We wrote inside in our React cart application, right? TypeScript cart application. So those are the locations where you can use your hook. Currently, we don't have custom hook. We need to use it inside add post, right? So right after use selector hook, I'm going to use dispatch hook. Then how can I dispatch from here then? We need to dispatch it from here, right? Submit handler, isn't it?
So we can create a function, just assign a variable and call it in there, right?
Right. That is what I was expecting. We'll just create a variable. This is very simple. And then call
Use
this
this.
function or hook. Yeah. Anything I'm missing? And call this hook. Actually, this is a function actually created with this use dispatch hook will return a function called dispatch, right? Use state hook return an array containing two variables. Different hook return different things, right? For example, use effect hook sometimes will not return anything, right? So sometimes means there is one state where we will return from use effect hook as well. Okay, and just remember that right now. So if you are doing something with use effect hook, just search for cleanup function. Okay, it is used to actually clean something inside use effect hook. So this is the time when we want to return from use effect hook using cleanup function. So yeah, just go and see. We will return from use effect hook as well, and that will be when we are trying to clean something up. For example, we will be unnecessarily storing something in our DOM. We need to clean it up. At that time, we'll return from use effect hook as well. Okay, yeah, that is what we missed, I think, previously. And that is not that much difficult. We need to sometimes clean something which is stored in memory, maybe in DOM. At that time, we'll use cleanup function inside use effect hook as well. This is also interview question way that will be asked. So will you return from use effect hook or not? If you will return, then why do you want to return from use effect hook? So we will return from use effect hook if we want to remove something, if we want to clean something up. Okay? So here, dispatch is another function returned from use dispatch hook. So this is a function we know. We need to call it, right? So how can I send then? I just call this function dispatch. Now I need to send this value, title, content, and user ID. Can I directly write title, content, and user ID here? Title, content in this way. User ID. Will it go? Will it go to the slice?
I don't think so. And doesn't it take something like a state and something else? Like when we defined it or where it's defined.
Yeah, sometimes you need to think from high level perspective as well. What I mean is, what are we actually trying to do here? We want to send some information. Okay, that information can be anything like title, user ID, content, that can be anything. We want to send some information from this component to where? Where do we want to send? From here
Reducer?
to reducer. Which reducer? Where is that reducer? In which file?
Post reduce. What was it? Let's see.
Slices.
Store? No. Right.
It's
Post
in
slide.
slice. Yeah, it's in post slice.
Yeah.
You need to say, yeah, in there we have reducer, but what you can say is we want to send something to the post slice, not to the user slice, right? Right? We don't want to send it to the user slice because we are not dealing with user thing here, user related thing. We are dealing with the post related thing here. So what we are trying to do here is we want to send some information from this add post component to the post slice component. So by just writing dispatch, it will not know where it need to go. Are you understanding what I am saying? Does it need to actually be sent to will it go to user slice or post slice? By only writing this here, dispatch cannot understand where it need to go. We need to actually let know this dispatch, hey dispatch, you need to go to post slice, not user slice. So we need to actually send some information here regarding post slice as well, right? And what is that information?
State.
Yeah, what is that?
I'm thinking state. Do we define that somewhere here? So it knows. Oh, not
Yeah,
sure.
what kind of state is this? Is it somewhere something that is coming from here, post slice?
Mm,
Do we have some information coming from here? If it is, then it will be good for us. Actually, now I'm inside post slice here. Can you tell me where will that information come here in around which line? Maybe you can just roughly guess. Maybe inside create slice, maybe inside state, inside create slice as well, maybe inside somewhere. Where will that information come here?
On line number 15.
Yeah, inside reducer you mean, right?
yeah.
Somewhere inside reducer. So we need to actually specify the reducer name here. We need to say this add post component when we are using dispatch here, that hey dispatch, you need to first go inside post slice and there I have a reducer function. You need to go there. So we need to specify that reducer function here before actually writing it, before actually sending the information. So what will be that reducer function? That will come from here. For example, currently we have update title as only. So let me just make appropriate reducer function here. We want to, let's say, post data, right? Post, uh, let's say, add post, something like this, add post. And you know how to write. What is this actually? This is actually property inside reducer function, reducer object. And what kind of property is this? Is this an array function object? Add post inside reducer.
Supposed to be a function.
Yeah, it should be a function. So we will we can create simple arrow function here. Yeah, that's all. Add post. We'll write some logic later, but now we have add post function. We will send this information into add post function, which is inside this post slice. We need to update something here. Now we need to send add post from post slice.action. Okay, and yeah, later we will select post from here as well. We'll do that slightly later, but we have add post here. Now what can we do? We can now send this information to add post. We need to first specify the name of the reducer function that we have, and in there we will send this title, content, and user ID. Right now, can you tell me, can I directly send it here? Like, can I just write title, comma, content, comma, user ID once again? Will it work? What do you think? Will it work?
You
Well,
need to
we haven't specified it, but if we did, you might.
Yeah, we specified the name of the reducer function, where it need to go. Where is this coming from? It is coming from post slice. It already know that name of the reducer function. And in that reducer function, we want to send title, content, and user ID. And will it work, or do we still need to send extra information? I think we have provided almost accurate information. It should come into post slice now and inside add post, right? Now, can I console log and see what is coming here? And where is it? From where is it coming from? Can I just console log that title here? Because we sent title here, right? It should come here. And we need to see content as well, right? And we need to see user ID as well. We are sending these three information. It will not work in this way, right?
No,
But
don't we need to tell the function that it needs to accept three, what are they called? Inputs? Like to receive
inputs.
three, yeah.
Somewhere
Title,
here.
content, and use ID. Yeah, is not right? Is that right?
Yeah, we need to write something here. Now, just remember what we did yesterday, and just remember what we did previously in use reducer hook in reducer function. What we used to write here in function parameter in the reducer function. This is a reducer function actually, right?
Was it a payload?
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
props.
yeah, something like that. But what are the two names, two popular names that we used to write here?
State and action.
Yeah, state and action. Now we are close. Now, where is this title coming from?
Action.title.
Yeah, directly action.title. Action. Inside action, we have something. Before accepting title, yeah,
Payload.
we have payload. Yeah. So action.payload, and it should have title, right? So let me just comment this too and see if title is coming here. Okay, now everything should work. Let me try to do this. So this is, I'm just sending test here. I should see test title in the console from here. Okay, let me click on save post. It is not actually what we expected. See, it is undefined. Something is wrong here once again. So let's only print action then. Let's not go with payload and title. Let's see what is the action coming in there. Since we are validating it, we need to actually send all the information. When I click here, okay, it is directly getting that test. See, payload is test. So I passed this payload from here and it is test. But what will happen if I passed other field? So I'm just getting this this first field only. So where is this gone? The second one, author information and content. When this is the state title, and this is test content. Let's see what will come there. When I see here, I'm just receiving test title in the action. So something we need to change there. The way we are sending dispatch needs to be slightly, we need to slightly change it. What do you think? What is happening here? We are sending title, author, and content. Only title is coming here. Where are the other field? Actually, we are sending three separate field here, right? Title, content, and user ID. Previously, somebody mentioned we are sending three argument here. We need to accept three parameter here, but we only have single action here. We will not write more than two here, state and action. So can I just convert these three in one? Three different parameters in a single parameter.
Yes.
Single argument, you can also say, yeah, just make it an object. Simple, yeah. See, now everything will come. So let me see test title, and this is author ID, and this is test content. If I click on save post, now we have a payload of object. That object is containing all the things here: content, title, and user ID. Right? Now we are already getting it here in the post slice. Now if you write action dot payload dot title, it should work now. It should only give you title. When you write action dot payload dot the content, you will get the content. Or if you write what are we sending here, maybe user ID as well, you will get user ID here. Okay, so let's finally verify it. This title, and this is the author, and this is test content. If I click on save post, see test title, and this is user ID. So this is coming from add post. Do not worry about it. We have some console logs in add post as well, but we haven't actually printed this another field content. That's why it is not here. Yeah, it is here, but we haven't printed here. It means we have successfully received this thing here, right? Any confusion until now? So now will you be able to send dispatch yourself? What are the criteria required to send dispatch, or what are the important things you need to consider? Yeah, can you quickly recap? Can somebody? When you want to send dispatch means sending information to the slice, or you can say store directly. Store, slice is a part of store. When you want to send some information to the store, then what will be the criteria? What do we need to consider? Yeah, I think somebody is unmuting their microphone. Maybe just yeah. Maybe Nirsa can help me with that. I don't have actually the list of users here right now. Yeah, what I am trying to say is to use dispatch, we need to first have use dispatch hook, right? And then we will initialize it in the dispatch function. In dispatch function, we need to specify the name of the reducer, and then we'll simply send content there. Okay. So let me just commit at this point. From add post component. Okay, so finally,
Got a question, Gorak.
there is an important Yeah. That's right.
Line 19 through line 21. Why do you have those functions there to set it to empty or just to reset them?
Yeah, just let's see then. Let's do not do this. Let's try to actually write test title and author here and test content. And if I click on save post, see what happened there? We sent the dispatch, but it is not cleared, right? Once you send something, it should remove. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's resetting this field. Okay, now if you click on save post, it should go away from there. Any other question? You ready?
All good. Yeah.
Okay. So okay, that's all. Let me remove this console log from here. Do I have other console log? Okay, no console log. So actually there is an important concept in Redux toolkit, and that is regarding a prepare function. Okay, let's go and let's see quickly. Maybe if I have the support of this chat, I'll try to use it. Let me refresh it. So we have something called prepare function. So let me just ask this ChatGPT, how can I use it? How can I use prepare function in Redux toolkit? Let's see. And we will know what is that prepare function actually. So this is really important. Pre-process something. If you want to pre-process something, then you'll use prepare function. Okay, so this is providing async thunk function. Yeah, we will do that slightly later. But this is important point. When you want to pre-process your data, before sending it to your reducer, we will use prepare function. So prepare function will look something like this here. See here, we will write increment, decrement in this way. We will do this, I think, tomorrow regarding extra reducer. Extra reducer is related to this thunk. Actually, we need to actually create thunk, and then we will need to actually use it here. But see, we can use prepare function as well. So now you know how many parameters there are. So here, or you can say, yeah, properties, name, initial state, reducer, see extra reducer, and we have prepare function as well. So let me ask this, can you give me example without using this method here? We don't want to use this right now because we don't know. So let's see if we can see it without create async thunk. Otherwise, we will simply implement it, okay, if we do not get appropriate result. So because we don't have the async thunk right now, so what we will do is we will use this prepare function somewhere inside our reducer, somewhere here, and we will pre-process our data. I think it is stuck here. Maybe I'll get answer in a moment. I'll just keep it somewhere on the left and let's try to do ourselves. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say I just want to send information directly, not in object. Okay, so I think it is now printing the result. Let's see quickly what is this trying to do, and maybe it will help us as well. So it's trying to use prepare without create async thunk. Once again, extra reducer. We will not need that right now. Reducer. Maybe it will say prepare here and there will receive action. That's the same thing. Okay, let's do it ourselves then. So with a prepare function, we will, let's say that I'll send raw data from here. Raw data means I'm directly sending it without wrapping it in object. Now you know it will not come here, right? It will not come in the post slice. Let's go to post slice. It will not come here in this way now. We'll not be able to access it. But what we can do now is, instead of writing this add post directly here, let me cut and paste it here. I'll get it when we need. Now what we can do is we can write reducer here, reducer inside reducers. Okay, we will create one reducer function. We'll create two functions essentially in there. So one is the reducer function and another one will be the prepare function. Prepare function. So it means let's create that reducer function. So we can create in this way as well, right? Function declaration. So prepare function. Okay, we have reducer and we have prepare. We are more concerned with this one right now. Let me just console log what is coming here. Console log. Okay. You saw the definition, right? It will pre-process, means before running reducer, this prepare will run. So let me just see if this is running first, then I will get all the data first, right? Title, content, and user ID. Let me accept all of this here. I can write A, B, C because I'm sending 3 arguments from here, but you can still write same name as well. Title and content, right? You are sending this information from here, and the user ID, user ID. And let me now console log this title here and content as well as user ID. And let's see what is happening here now. Now, will we be able to get this data on our reducer? Actually, this is the reducer. In reducer, we have reducers. In reducers, we have reducer function and we have this. And this is wrapped in this single object here. Okay, it will be really awesome if we are able to get this here. But prepare function, prepare function should do something here to actually get it in the reducer. But let's see. Test title, author, and test content. And I'm going to click on save post now. Something is wrong here. Add post is not a function. Now it is not working. See here, while we are dispatching, because we don't have that add post now. We just removed it, right? So we just removed it and it is not available there. So what we will do now is instead of removing that add function, let's keep it there because this is a part of that add post. Add post, instead of removing it here, add post. So we will send it, but inside this add post, we will paste this part. So now reducer and prepare are the past part of add post. Now let's see. Now it should actually accept add because add post is there. It should actually come here. And if I click on save post, so nothing is happening. Nothing. We are not able to actually get this. This is not running. It means then what happened here? We are not able to get something. Let me just console log this reducer only. And this as well. So prepare should also.
Is there a typo on line 17 or is that how the function's called? Prepare.
Oh yeah. Right. Thank you. So yeah, thanks for correcting. Prepare. This is prepare in this way. Yeah, prepare function. Just trying to inspect it happen. So let's try once again. So I'm just write random name here just to see it's coming. So now we have some function. So yeah, this is expected one. We need to return. But see here, we are getting A, and 1 here. This is title A, and this is content A. The user ID is 1 for this user. We are successfully able to get this thing here, right? From here. Now we don't need to wrap it in object. We can send as many data as we want in raw format. Finally, we will process it here. It is called preprocessor. It will pre-process the data. It will run first. See, prepare is running before running this one. This is not running at all. Reducer. So prepare is running. Then it should return something. It is saying that it should return something. So what is that something? Let me just return title from here. Now let's try once again. If I click on save post, you cannot use in operator to search for meta. Okay. Oh, we have something unexpected here because we cannot return in this way. So we need to return the payload here because we will later accept like action and state an action here, and that action will contain payload. So what we will do is we will return, because we can return multiple things here. We will return like an object having payload property, and in that payload property we just have title. Let's see now it works or not. We are trying to make it workable. We are trying to remove that error. See, now the reducer is running. This is working fine. Now reducer is running. Okay, we are sending title from here. Let me send just text hello, and let's see if we can get that hello here in the reducer or not. So I'll just console log that action, and let me just add some field from here. See, the reducer is running and console log action is providing you payload having this text coming from here, hello. Okay, then this is really important, and this is really really important thing that we have here, because we will send raw data from here. Say, let's say that something is coming from here, user provided raw data. Let's say that we want to process it. We want to, let's say, while user is adding, we want to add date. While user is adding, or let's say we want to do write some logic, custom logic, or add some, let's say, in this thing, user is sending this data from this device. So some of this extra information which user is not sending, we can actually process those extra information here in this prepare function, because we can do it here as well, but it is not good to do here because the condition is different, right? This is regarding getting some data from user in this component, and this thing is regarding processing those data, right? So this is a pattern that is you'll see in Redux toolkit used most of the time. Prepare function is just to pre-process your data. Okay, so then what can we do here? Now we can send that whole object once again. Inside payload, let's say payload, we will send one object. That object will have like title, right? We have title from above, and like user ID. User ID is also coming, and content. Now let's add one more thing, the date field here. Date field. You know how to get the current date? You will use the constructor function called date with this new operator, right? You will use the constructor function called date. And let's convert this to string. You can use to ISO string is a function. So, and let's see what is coming in the action once again. So this is like title is Redux, and this is the author. So learning Redux toolkit. I'm going to save this post, click on save post, and now it is going in the payload. it pre-processed here, it is going here. Now let's see if date is added there or not. See, in payload, we have date as well. We have content, we have title, we have user ID, and we have date, which is the extra field that we added from here. Okay, so this is important. That's why it is not limited. Now we can add as many fields as we need. For example, later we will display reactions there. Let's add some reactions, right? We have some reactions here already created, reaction component, and reaction contains this thing, right? Thumbs up. These are the reactions that we have. Now what we can do is just have these reactions here, but what we will do is we will just give them a number. How many likes do we have, or how many thumbs up do we have? 0, let's say, initial value. So let's initialize every one of them with 0 value. Later we will update it, and when we update it, we will see the number is increasing. So initially every reaction is 0. So reactions is also added here. Okay. This is actually the payload that you created. We need to give them an ID as well, because we need to React should actually uniquely identify this payload, because later we will one payload means one post, right? We'll display post here. Another payload means another post. So each and every post should have ID. So let's calculate ID. See how important this prepare is now. We can have extra information here. These are the information previously coming. Now we are adding extra information. Yeah, we can generate ID using that UUID package, which is more popular, but there is a more popular function coming from Redux toolkit itself, that is nano ID. So what is this nano ID? Nano ID, let's call this is a function. Let's see what is this providing us. It will provide us random ID actually. So once again, let's fill this form. So, and let's click on save post, and here in the payload, see, this is the thing coming from that nano ID. This is the random ID actually. So now we have extra information. We have content. This is already coming, right? This is coming from user. Content is coming from user. Title is coming from user. User ID is also coming from user. But this is the field that we added date. This is the field that we added ID. And this is the object, reaction object that we added. And this reaction object containing the reactions. All the reactions, they are currently 0. All right. Is everything fine, guys, until now?
Yeah.
Okay, so just tell me, initially, these are the initial state, right? Initial state means initial post. Now, post will not be in this format. Post will be in the format like add post, something like, let's go to, I don't know, where is this random post? Maybe we don't have it. So what I'm saying is this is not the format that we'll be having, because we will have ID, title, user ID, content, date, reaction, all the things. So maybe I can remove all the things from here. Now, can you tell me how can I update it? So yeah, this is coming from here. Maybe just give me a time. Maybe I can go here and see display post. We need this format actually. We need this format. Right? These are the initial state. Now we will update it. You can just grab one of them and just have it here, just to know what is the initial state, what type of data do we have, or you can make everything 0. Oh, we have something called sub here. What is this sub actually? So this will this is coming from that date FNS package, just to actually calculate the difference. Okay, so that's why it is there. Yeah, if I just remove it, should work. This is the error coming from there, but you can just have it there as well. You can just grab that sub coming from Is
It's
it
just a
not?
subtract function.
Yeah, right. So let me just see the documentation. Sub function, data FNS, it's a source. So yeah, we can just actually have two date here. First date here and the second date here. And yeah, and we will calculate like something like this. Like 3 days ago, we'll say, for example, you'll see this in news post, right? Last Friday. So there are different functions to do this job. So it is coming from actually date FNS. So let me just, yeah, I can just write it here as well. For example, import sub from, it should be in curly braces, sub from FNS. Now it should work. Shouldn't crash our application. Okay. Yeah. Later we will deal with that one. This is just the initial value. That's why we have it here. We'll try to calculate it. So now we have the similar field all the way down as well, right? We haven't subtracted, but we have the similar field like ID, title, user ID, content, similar field that we have above. Now, can you tell me, this is already received from the user, right? Payload is here, let's assume. And how can we update this state? How can we update the post state, this state? We want to add something more in this. This is the initial value. We want to update this state now. Essentially, we want to update this slice, post slice state. We have action already coming here. Payload already coming. Yeah.
Can we use state, create state, something, then use, set state like a variable?
No.
No.
We will not use set state here because this is a JavaScript JS only. JSX will use such kind of hook to store such a state. Yeah, we can use it in JS as well, but we'll not do that, especially in this reducer. Because previously, yesterday, I told you how to update reducer, right? When you receive payload, now how can you add it to the state? State is already here, right?
Yeah, we were using the push function to push.
Yeah, we can simply push it. And be careful to use push. You will only use such kind of method called push in reducer, not in other React application. Okay, this is not a good practice of mutating the state. But we can mutate it because this Redux toolkit internally uses a package called immer that will handle this thing for you. Do not need to worry about that. You can simply use state.push and action.payload should go there. Okay, now it's time to introduce, finally, let me take 5 more minutes, the Redux dev tools. So similar to React dev tools, we have, let me remove this from here now. Similar to React dev tools, we have Redux dev tools that will actually help you to inspect the state from Redux dispatch or actions, something like that. So you can search for Redux dev tools. This is an extension available in Google Chrome as well as in Mozilla. I don't know about other browsers. Maybe it will be available in other popular one as well. Redux dev tools. You can simply click on add to Chrome. So it is available here. Now what I can do is just open that server, localhost 5173, our application. When you right click now, click on inspect, you can see when you click here, you can see like Redux here. See, Redux is available. When you click on that Redux, this is the dev tool provided by the Redux to you. Let me make this slightly smaller. Okay, this is really cool. See, this is the initial state, initial dispatch by default sent by Redux. Now I'm going to add post title here, and author name here, and post content here. And I'm going to click on save post and just see what will happen here. Save post. Now this is the action. Post / add post. We saw it previously as well in our console, right? Now what is this containing? So this is containing the post here. See, we have like difference, action here, state, trace, paste. So these are the developer tools, you can say, or debugger tools as well. But if I click on action, what is the action sent? The action contains the payload and the type. Type is the type here. It is automatically generated by React Redux toolkit. And this payload contains the payload actually. See, these are the processed payload by that pre-process function. See here, ID, title, the same thing. User ID, content, date, reactions as well. You can see this in chart format as well. Now see, this is the overall, the topmost, you can say, or the central Redux store. This is the state. And that state is having a payload and a type. Type is actually, currently this is related to slice. So this is only related to post, okay? This is not a central currently. Later we will combine it together and see the central store as well. But currently it is related to this post slice. So this is related to post slice. You can see post slice is having a type. Previously, if you remember in use reducer hook, while we are dispatching, we used to send type there, and type is equals to increment, something like that in object property, right? But here this type is automatically generated, but this payload is what we sent here. So it is having ID. This is the tree format here, how these are actually generated. Yeah, you can see the raw format as well here. And yeah, this is the state field, and this is the difference. We will later see. Later we will actually send different state here, different action, and we will see the difference between previous one and the current one. And we can migrate from top to bottom, and yeah, there is display as well. And you can actually yeah, just hit and trial some of the things from here. You can actually go here, for example, play this, and you can make this slower as well. Currently there is a single action, so it is single dispatch, you can say it is executed right away. Yeah, essentially this is overall the Redux dev tool here. Here you can just, most important is you can visualize what are the dispatch sent and what are their values. Okay, and later we will see something regarding RTK query, regarding asynchronous middleware things as well, and we'll also come back here. But this is what you need to actually see, and you need to become familiar with this one, these options. What are the available options here? Okay, yeah, I think you can try yourself once, then we will see it once again. Maybe you can ask, what are these settings doing here once you try? Okay, are you able to use Redux dev tool on your browser? Yeah, I think you can do that. So yeah, that's all for today. We took some more time than expected, but tomorrow we'll quickly. So I think you can do this right now as well, because we have already received the payload, right? Now you know how to display it here. Just go to that display post component, and instead of directly getting this here, can you tell me how can I get it from the store? No idea? How can I get this post from the store? Posts are already in the store, right? Just need to get this from there.
The use selector.
Yeah, use selector hook. Use selector hook. will actually help you to get it out. Now you will pass arrow function here once again, right? If you haven't returned some pre-processed function, you need to write state, then state dot post, right? Post. We need to get it here in state dot post. Okay, so do you think we received post here? Let me just store it in post. Okay, I'll save it. Now something crashed and something is wrong, and it said cannot read properties. Yeah, that's expected because we don't have any post initially. I deleted. So, and it is saying as well we are not able to. Let's quickly see what is this post containing. Go in the console, refresh it. Now it is working because I think we have initial post added, initial value in the post slice, because yeah, this is the initial value that is printing here, that is printed here. Learning Redux toolkit, right? This is the initial value I added there. Okay, we are able to successfully get this post here. Okay, now do you think will it work if I click on title, let's say Redux, right? And this one is the author and Redux toolkit. Let me click on save post and it should be visible here. That is what we want, right? Click here. Now it is not visible. So something is wrong that we need to see. And this is related to those reaction properties, and it says cannot read properties. Okay, just try to see what is happening there. Just try to go in that reaction buttons and see why you cannot read this thumbs up. Okay, I think you will try to debug and try to fix it yourself. Do you think you can do it?
I think we called it reaction instead of reactions. I don't know if that's it.
Maybe, right? Somewhere. Maybe somewhere here, right? You mean here, reactions, right? Yeah, let's try to quickly see. So if it is working, React author and let's just write React here. So yeah, it is working. That's a really quick fix. But these things are not working here. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow we'll quickly make this workable. Maybe you can try it, right? Can you try working on this section? Where do you need to go? You need to go to that reaction button, right? You need to get something from Redux store here, or maybe you need to dispatch as well, because you are clicking here, right? When you click, that value, that thumbs up value should increase by 1. You can say +1 each and every time. All right, so yeah. Can we end here for now, for today? Okay, then, so this is the thing regarding Redux toolkit. Tomorrow we will see how to handle API request here. We will now once again extend this slice. This is not completed. We need to have another property name called extra reducer here. And then we will introduce something called create async thunk. Okay, just search about that term, and tomorrow we are going to use it. All right, so let me commit at this point. Let's see and play. So this is regarding sending dispatch. So let me say display post, because we displayed it here. All right, so that's all for today, everyone. So I'll meet you tomorrow and continue this session. Tomorrow as well, we'll see some interesting thing. You'll be amazed how we can easily interact with API. So yeah, using create async thunk. So yeah, thanks so much, everyone, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, Gaurav.